The year 1948 was a time of transition in the United States as the nation emerged from the shadow of World War II and began to experience the economic boom that would shape the coming decades. While industries were expanding and families were building new lives, there were also small everyday items that were quietly becoming part of history. One such item was the 1948 no-mint mark wheat penny, a coin that at first glance might seem ordinary but has since become a remarkable piece of American numismatic heritage. This coin not only holds the value of its copper metal but also carries a story of post-war America, its minting process, and its eventual rise in rarity and value among collectors. The 1948 no-mint mark wheat penny was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which was the primary minting facility of the United States. Coins produced in Philadelphia during this era typically did not carry a mint mark, which is why these pennies appear without any identifying letter beneath the date. The absence of a mint mark is not a mistake, rather it is a characteristic of coins made in Philadelphia at the time. The obverse of the coin features the well-known portrait of President Abraham Lincoln designed by Victor David Brenner in 1909 to mark the centennial of Lincoln's birth. On the reverse are the two iconic wheat stalks framing the words 1 cent United States of America, along with the Latin motto E pluribus una, meaning out of many one. In 1948 the composition of the penny remained 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, a mix that had been standard before and after the wartime steel penny experiment of 1943. Each penny weighed 3.11 grams and measured 19 millimeters in diameter. Over 317 million of these pennies were minted in Philadelphia, making them quite common in circulation at the time. However, over the years most were spent, worn down, and eventually removed from everyday use. Only a small number of well-preserved examples survived in high grades, and these are the coins that now command significant interest from collectors. The value of a 1948 no-mint mark wheat penny varies greatly depending on its condition. A well-circulated example might be worth only a few cents above face value to most buyers. However, uncirculated coins, those that were never used in commerce, and show no signs of wear, can be worth far more. Collectors seek coins with sharp details, rich original luster, and no damage from handling or cleaning. As with all coins, the higher the grade, the higher the value. Professional coin grading services assign numerical grades from 1 to 70, with 70 representing a perfect coin. A 1948 no-mint mark wheat penny graded near the top of this scale can be a true prize for a collector. Over time, these coins have gained attention not just for their beauty but for their historical connection to an important period in the nation's development. The late 1940s saw the United States establishing itself as a global leader, while also investing in infrastructure, housing, and education for its citizens. Pennies from 1948 passed through the hands of people who were buying groceries, paying for movie tickets, and saving change in jars for future dreams. Every coin has its own invisible history, and the 1948 wheat penny is no exception. It is a piece of copper that has witnessed the rebuilding of a nation and the optimism of a new era. Rarity in coin collecting is not just about how many were made but about how many survive in top quality today. While millions of these pennies rolled off the presses at Philadelphia, only a fraction remain in pristine condition. Environmental factors can damage coins over decades. Copper is especially vulnerable to changes in humidity, exposure to air, and contact with skin oils, which cause discoloration and corrosion. That is why finding a 1948 penny with its original red luster and without spotting or toning is such an achievement. Auction records have shown just how valuable the best examples can be. The current market value for an absolutely exceptional 1948 no-mint mark wheat penny has reached $77,834. This figure is based on a combination of rarity, condition, demand, and historical interest. A coin of such high quality might be preserved in a protective holder by a grading service and could have been stored carefully for generations. When such a coin comes to auction, it attracts competitive bidding from collectors eager to add it to their sets of Lincoln cents. The journey from a 1-cent piece in circulation to a coin worth tens of thousands of dollars is a testament to the passion of numismatists and the enduring appeal of American coinage. Collectors often build complete date and mint mark sets of Lincoln wheat cents starting from 1909 and ending in 1958, when the wheat design was replaced by the Lincoln Memorial reverse. The 1948 issue is an essential part of that set, and for those pursuing the finest known coins, it becomes a target worthy of significant investment. Understanding the value of the 1948 wheat penny also involves knowing about coin grading and market trends. The demand for high-grade Lincoln cents has been strong for decades, and it shows no sign of slowing. With more people entering the hobby and with the internet making it easier to buy and sell coins, rare pieces are reaching wider audiences. Online auctions have allowed collectors from around the world to compete for the very best coins. This increased competition drives prices higher, especially for those coins that are already scarce and top condition. For anyone who might own a 1948 no-mint mark wheat penny, the first step toward understanding its worth is to examine its condition carefully. Look for sharp detail in Lincoln's hair and beard, clear separation of the wheat stalk lines on the reverse, and an overall bright red or red-brown color free from major marks. If the coin appears exceptionally well preserved, it might be worth having it graded by a reputable service. Even if it does not reach the top grades, a certified coin can still be more valuable and easier to sell than a raw, ungraded one. The story of the 1948 wheat penny is also a reminder that treasures can be hiding in plain sight. Many people still have jars or boxes of old coins passed down from relatives or found while cleaning out drawers. It is entirely possible to discover a valuable piece among these, especially if it has been kept safe from circulation for many decades. That is part of the magic of coin collecting, the thrill of finding history in your own home. As the years pass, coins like the 1948 no-mint mark wheat penny will only become more desirable. The number of surviving high-grade examples will not increase, and as more collectors seek them out, competition will remain strong. For those lucky enough to own such a coin, it is not only a piece of metal, but a link to the past, a reminder of a time when life moved at a different pace and a single penny had real buying power. From candy stores to train rides that cost just a few cents, this small copper coin was part of everyday life for millions of Americans. Whether you are a seasoned collector or just starting out, learning about coins like the 1948 wheat penny can deepen your appreciation for history, art, and the craftsmanship of the United States Mint. Each coin tells a story not only of the era in which it was made, but also of the people who used it, saved it, and eventually recognized its significance. Holding such a coin in your hand is like holding a tiny time capsule filled with the spirit of post-war America. Today, the legacy of the 1948 no-mint mark wheat penny lives on in collections across the country and around the world. Its journey from a common coin of commerce to a highly prized collectible worth $77,834 is a testament to the enduring fascination of numismatics. Whether found in a family heirloom collection purchased at a coin show or won at a heated auction, it continues to inspire admiration and excitement. And as long as collectors cherish the artistry, history, and rarity of these coins, the story of the 1948 wheat penny will continue to grow in both value and legend. Welcome back to another exciting and informative deep dive into the fascinating world of rare coins and numismatic treasures. Today we are going to explore one of the most remarkable and valuable coins ever produced by the United States Mint. The coin in question is the 1944 no-mint mark wheat penny, and its value, history, and surprising current market worth are nothing short of incredible. This is a coin that has captured the attention of collectors, historians, and treasure hunters around the globe. And in this video we will explore every detail that makes it so special. To understand the story of the 1944 no-mint mark wheat penny, we first need to step back in time to the early 1940s. America was deep in the midst of World War II, and the United States Mint was adjusting its production methods and materials to meet wartime needs. In 1943, the Mint famously produced pennies made from zinc-coated steel instead of copper. This change was due to the urgent demand for copper in military equipment such as shell casings and communications wiring. The steel pennies of 1943 were easy to distinguish by their silver-gray appearance and magnetic properties. However, by 1944, copper had once again become available for coin production, and the Mint returned to using a copper alloy for the Lincoln cent. The vast majority of 1944 pennies were struck using this copper alloy, and most were produced at the Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco Mints. The Philadelphia Mint did not place a mint mark on its coins, which means that any penny from 1944 without a mint mark was struck in Philadelphia. However, among these Philadelphia coins there is an extraordinary rarity that has become legendary among collectors. This is the 1944 no mint mark wheat penny with a unique composition or striking error that dramatically increases its value. Some of the most valuable 1944 no mint mark wheat pennies are those accidentally struck on leftover steel planchets from 1943. These rare error coins can be identified by their light color and magnetic properties, and they represent a fascinating mistake in the minting process. Essentially, a small number of leftover steel blanks from 1943 were fed into the presses in early 1944 and were struck with the 1944 wheat penny design. Because they were never intended to exist, they are extremely rare and highly sought after even without the steel composition error. The 1944 no mint mark wheat penny is still a coin with historical significance and collector appeal. The wheat penny design itself features the profile of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse with the inscriptions "Liberty" and "In God We Trust," and the date 1944. The reverse displays two wheat ears framing the denomination 1 cent along with the words United States of America and E Pluribus Unum. This design was in use from 1909 until 1958 and remains one of the most beloved coin designs in American history. When evaluating the value of a 1944 no mint mark wheat penny, condition is everything. Coins are graded on a scale from poor to mint state, with higher grades commanding much higher prices. A well-worn 1944 penny may only be worth a few cents, but coins in uncirculated condition, especially those with sharp details and original luster, can be worth significant sums. Collectors prize coins that have been well preserved and free of scratches, corrosion, or cleaning marks. The rare steel planchet 1944 no mint mark pennies can sell for astonishing amounts at auction. Some examples have fetched tens of thousands of dollars depending on condition. One such coin recently sold for a staggering $69,244, which is its current market value. This price reflects not only its scarcity, but also the fierce competition among collectors who wish to own one of the finest examples known. The journey of how coins like this reach such high values is rooted in supply and demand. The supply of these rare 1944 no mint mark wheat pennies is extremely limited, and the demand from serious collectors remains strong. Year after year, auction houses frequently see bidding wars erupt over these coins, and each new sale helps set benchmarks for future values. In many ways, these coins are like works of art or rare antiques, with each example having its own unique history and appeal. Let us take a closer look at why the Philadelphia Mint did not place mint marks on its coins during this era. From the beginning of its operations in 1793, the Philadelphia Mint was the original and primary United States Mint facility. Because it was the only mint for many decades, there was no need to distinguish its coins with a mint mark. Even after branch mints were established, the tradition of leaving Philadelphia coins without a mint mark persisted until the late 20th century. This practice adds another layer of intrigue for collectors, because identifying a Philadelphia coin often relies on the absence of a mint mark rather than the presence of one. The 1944 wheat penny also serves as a window into the broader history of coinage during wartime. The resource shortages of World War II forced mints around the world to experiment with different metals and alloys. In the United States, the temporary switch to steel pennies in 1943 stands as one of the most dramatic changes in coin production history. The return to copper in 1944 was welcomed by the public, as the steel pennies had often been mistaken for dimes and were prone to rusting if exposed to moisture. The copper pennies of 1944 therefore not only had practical value but also symbolic value as a sign of a return to normalcy during a turbulent era for collectors. The thrill of the hunt is one of the driving forces behind their passion. Searching through rolls of pennies from banks or examining inherited coin collections can sometimes yield unexpected treasures. Imagine the excitement of discovering a rare 1944 no mint mark steel penny among ordinary coins. The odds are incredibly slim, but stories of such finds continue to inspire new generations of collectors. Over the decades, the numismatic community has developed a sophisticated system for authenticating and grading rare coins. Professional grading services such as PCGS and NGC play a crucial role in determining a coin's condition and authenticity. When it comes to valuable coins like the 1944 no mint mark wheat penny, having a certified grade can make the difference between selling for a modest sum and commanding a record price. It is important to remember that the market value of coins can fluctuate over time based on economic conditions, collector trends, and the discovery of new specimens, while the current market value of the rare steel composition 1944 no mint mark wheat penny stands at $69,244. It is possible that future auctions could push this figure even higher. Conversely, market slowdowns can temporarily lower prices, but truly rare coins tend to maintain strong long-term value. The enduring appeal of the 1944 no mint mark wheat penny lies not only in its rarity and value but also in the rich tapestry of history it represents. This coin is a tangible artifact from a pivotal period in American history, a time when the nation was mobilized for a global conflict, and every resource was carefully managed. Holding such a coin in your hand is like holding a small piece of that history, a direct link to the people and events of the 1940s. As we close this in-depth exploration, remember that the world of coin collecting is filled with fascinating stories and hidden treasures. Whether you are a seasoned collector or someone just starting out, there is always more to learn and discover. The 1944 no mint mark wheat penny is a shining example of how a simple 1-cent coin can become a rare and valuable prize through a combination of historical events, minting quirks, and the relentless passion of collectors. If you ever come across a 1944 penny without a mint mark, take the time to examine it closely. Check its weight, its color, and whether it is magnetic, as these clues can help identify a rare steel planchet error. You never know, you might just be holding a coin worth tens of thousands of dollars, and that is the beauty of coin collecting. The next great discovery could be sitting unnoticed in a jar of spare change. Thank you for joining me on this journey through the history and value of the 1944 no mint mark wheat penny. Stay curious, stay observant, and happy collecting. The year was 1957, and the United States was in the midst of an era that was filled with change, hope, and post-war growth. The coinage produced during this time reflected the spirit of a nation that was rapidly moving forward yet still grounded in traditions. One of the most notable coins from this period is the 1957 D mint mark wheat penny. This coin, minted in Denver, stands as a remarkable piece in American numismatic history, not only for its design and mintage but also for the incredible value it can hold today, with certain rare specimens fetching as much as $40,827 in the current collector's market. To understand the importance of the 1957 D wheat penny, we first need to take a journey back to its origins. The wheat penny, also known as the Lincoln wheat cent, was first introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of the birth of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. The coin featured the familiar right-facing portrait of President Lincoln on the obverse side, while the reverse showcased two stylized stalks of wheat, one on each side, framing the words 1 cent United States of America and the national motto E pluribus unum. For nearly 50 years, the wheat penny design remained largely unchanged. It became one of the most recognized coins in the United States and a symbol of everyday commerce. The 1957 D wheat penny was among the final issues of this iconic design, as the wheat reverse would be replaced in 1959 by the Lincoln Memorial design to commemorate the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. This transition marked the end of an era and makes the late-date wheat pennies especially collectible. The D mint mark found below the date on the obverse indicates that the coin was struck at the Denver Mint. The Denver Mint had been producing coins since the early 20th century and was known for its efficiency and high-volume output. In 1957, the Denver Mint produced hundreds of millions of wheat pennies, which means that in general these coins are not considered rare in their most common form. However, as with many coins from the past, certain varieties, errors, and high-grade examples can command significant premiums in the numismatic market. Let us consider why some examples of the 1957 D wheat penny can be worth a staggering $40,827. This extraordinary value is not attached to every coin from that year and mint, rather it is associated with coins that meet specific criteria. The most valuable specimens are typically those graded by professional services such as PCGS or NGC as being in the highest possible mint state grades, often MS67 or higher. This means the coin must have been preserved in pristine condition with virtually no wear marks or blemishes. In addition, certain era coins from the 1957 D series are highly sought after. These errors can include doubled dies, where the design elements such as the date or lettering appear doubled due to a misalignment during the die creation process. Off-center strikes, where the design is shifted away from the center of the planchet, can also be valuable, as can coins with repunched mint marks where the D appears to have been stamped more than once, creating a noticeable doubling in the mint mark. Collectors prize these varieties both for their rarity and for the fascinating glimpse they provide into the minting process of the era. The metal composition of the 1957 Dewey penny also tells a story. The coin is made primarily of 95% copper, with the remainder being a mix of tin and zinc. This composition gives the coin its distinct reddish-brown tone when freshly minted. Over time, depending on storage and environmental factors, the color can shift to shades of red-brown or even darker brown. Numismatists often categorize coins based on this color designation as red RB or brown and red. Examples in high grades are generally the most desirable and valuable beyond its physical features. The 1957 Dewey penny holds historical significance. The late 1950s were a time of economic expansion in the United States. Interstate highways were being built, suburban neighborhoods were growing, and consumer goods were becoming more accessible. Yet, in the midst of all this modernization, coins like the wheat penny retained a traditional design that connected Americans to the past. The wheat stalks on the reverse were a reminder of the agricultural roots of the nation and of the hard work that had built the country. Today, when collectors hunt for the 1957 Dewey penny, they are not merely seeking a piece of metal, they are pursuing a tangible link to history. Each coin carries with it the legacy of the minting process, the artistry of Victor David Brenner, and the countless transactions it may have been part of before being carefully preserved by a collector. The most valuable examples often come from original bank-wrapped rolls or mint sets that were stored away for decades untouched by circulation. The marketplace for rare coins has seen tremendous growth in recent years, driven by both seasoned collectors and new enthusiasts. Coins like the high-grade 1957 Dewey penny have benefited from this surge in interest. Auction houses have recorded impressive results for top-tier examples, with some sales reaching the $40,827 mark. This level of value reflects not just the rarity of such coins but also the willingness of collectors to invest in tangible assets that combine beauty, history, and scarcity. It is important for anyone interested in finding or selling a 1957 Dewey penny to understand the role of authentication in grading. A coin may appear flawless to the naked eye, yet only a certified grade from a trusted third party can confirm its status in the market. Professional grading services assess factors such as strike sharpness, luster, color, and the absence of marks or spots. They also ensure that any varieties or errors are correctly attributed, which can significantly influence value. Collectors who aim to locate a high-value 1957 Dewey penny should pay attention to certain key details. First, the date and mint mark must be clear and bold. Second, the fields of the coin, meaning the flat areas without design, should be free of scratches or marks. Third, the original mint luster, a shimmering surface effect created during striking, should be intact. This luster is often the first thing to fade when a coin is handled or exposed to the elements, so its presence is a good sign of preservation. Some stories from the numismatic world involve remarkable finds of rare coins in unexpected places. There have been cases where individuals discovered near mint 1957 Dewey pennies in old jars, boxes, or inherited collections without realizing their potential value. Such discoveries fuel the excitement of coin collecting, reminding us that treasures can still be hidden in plain sight, waiting to be recognized by someone with the knowledge to see them for what they are. In conclusion, the 1957 D mint mark wheat penny is more than just an old cent. It represents the closing chapter of one of the most beloved designs in American coinage. It captures the artistry of an earlier era, the technical skill of the Denver Mint, and the enduring fascination that coins can inspire. While millions were made, only a select few survive today in the pristine condition or unique era varieties that can command the highest prices. For those exceptional coins, the market has shown that values can soar to an astounding $40,827, a sum that speaks volumes about the enduring appeal and cultural significance of this small copper coin from a time when a penny truly meant something. The 1941 no mint mark Lincoln wheat penny is a remarkable coin that carries with it a deep connection to the history, culture, and economy of the United States. Struck at the Philadelphia Mint during a year of tremendous change and uncertainty, this coin has since become one of the most sought-after collectible pennies among coin enthusiasts. The absence of a mint mark is a clear indication that the coin was produced in Philadelphia, as the tradition of the time was that Philadelphia coins carried no mint mark. While millions were made, the true treasure lies in finding examples that have survived the decades in exceptional condition. The current market record for the highest quality example of this coin is an astonishing $69,845. That is an incredible figure for a coin that originally had a face value of just 1 cent. To understand the value and appeal of the 1941 no-mint mark wheat penny, we need to take a closer look at its design, origins, and the circumstances under which it was minted. The obverse of the coin features the beloved portrait of Abraham Lincoln, which was first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the centennial of his birth. This portrait was created by Victor David Brenner, whose initials VDB were famously removed shortly after the coin's release in 1909, and later restored in smaller form in 1918. Lincoln faces right on the coin with the word liberty to his left, the year 1941 to his right, and the national motto "In God We Trust" arching above his head. The reverse of the coin features the classic wheat ears design, which gives the wheat penny its nickname. At the center are the words 1 cent and United States of America, with the Latin phrase e pluribus unum, meaning out of many one above. The wheat ears curve along each side, framing the design with symmetry and simplicity. In terms of production, the Philadelphia Mint in 1941 was an extremely busy place. The nation was emerging from the Great Depression and industrial production was on the rise. With war looming in Europe and Asia, the United States economy was rapidly mobilizing for potential involvement. This meant the mint had to produce large quantities of coinage to keep up with the growing needs of commerce. In that year, the Philadelphia Mint produced over 887 million wheat pennies without a mint mark. Because such a massive number was made, these coins are relatively common in well-circulated grades. However, that same mass production means that most coins were used heavily in everyday transactions, making pristine examples exceedingly rare. The historical background of 1941 is essential to appreciating this coin. It was the year when tensions between the United States and the Axis powers were escalating. In December, the Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor brought the United States fully into World War II. For many Americans, 1941 was a year of uncertainty mixed with patriotism and determination. Coins like the wheat penny were part of daily life, whether used for buying a loaf of bread, a newspaper, or a bus ride. Few people in 1941 would have imagined that any of these humble pennies would one day be worth tens of thousands of dollars. Condition is the number one factor in determining the value of a 1941 no-mint mark wheat penny. Coin grading is a specialized process carried out by professional services such as PCGS and NGC. Coins are graded on a numerical scale from 1 to 70, with 70 representing a perfect coin with no post-mint imperfections. For copper coins like the wheat penny, another important designation is color. Collectors value coins that retain their original red luster far more highly than those that have toned brown or red-brown over time. Copper naturally reacts to air moisture and handling, which causes the bright red color to fade. Finding a 1941 penny in mint state condition with full original red color is rare, and such coins can command very high prices. Even within uncirculated grades, there is a vast difference in value. A mint state 65 red 1941 penny may sell for around $50 to $100. A mint state 66 red can bring $200 to $300. Mint state 67 red coins are scarce and can sell for several $1,000s. But the most spectacular pieces graded at mint state 68 red or higher are the ones that reach record prices. The $69,845 record example was such a coin, showing blazing original color, a razor-sharp strike, and no distracting marks. It was a perfect representation of the design and a dream acquisition for the winning bidder. The production process for coins at the Philadelphia Mint in 1941 was a combination of precision craftsmanship and industrial scale. Large rolls of copper alloy were fed into presses that stamped out blank planchets. These blanks were then sent through upsetting machines to form raised rims before being fed into the coining presses, where dies struck the obverse and reverse designs under immense pressure. Each coin had to pass basic inspection before being released into circulation. Yet even with high-quality control standards, minor variations occurred, including differences in strike quality and surface finish. Today, collectors often seek out coins with the most detailed strikes, showing crisp lines in Lincoln's hair and the wheat stalks. The wheat penny series as a whole is a cornerstone of American coin collecting. It ran from 1909 to 1958 and includes numerous key dates and mint mark varieties that range from common to extremely rare. The 1941 no-mint mark penny falls into the more common side of the series in circulated grades, but stands out dramatically when found in top condition. Its relatively high mintage means it is an accessible coin for beginners, yet it also offers the potential for experienced collectors to pursue the highest graded examples as trophy pieces. Auction stories involving the 1941 penny are always intriguing. There have been cases where someone discovered a roll of uncirculated wheat pennies tucked away in an attic for decades only to find that several coins graded high enough to fetch thousands each. In other instances, an old coin collection inherited from a relative turned out to include a gem-quality 1941 penny that sold for more than the owner's car was worth. These stories fuel the excitement of collecting because they show that treasures can still be found in ordinary places. Beyond value, the 1941 penny serves as a tangible piece of history. When you hold one in your hand, you can imagine the world that was made in a world on the brink of war, where the United States was transitioning from a peacetime economy to a wartime powerhouse. You can picture it changing hands in a small-town grocery store or being dropped into a savings jar by a child. This sense of connection to the past is one of the reasons coins have been collected for centuries. For collectors interested in preserving the value of a 1941 penny, proper storage is essential. Copper coins should be kept in a cool, dry place away from direct sunlight and moisture. Using acid-free coin flips, holders, or capsules can help protect the surface from damage. Handling should be minimized and, if necessary, done with clean cotton gloves to avoid fingerprints. Even a tiny spot or scratch can significantly reduce the value of a high-grade coin. When building a collection of wheat pennies, it is wise to learn about the market and follow auction results. This helps in understanding what grades and color designations command the highest premiums. It is also useful to network with other collectors, attend coin shows, and visit reputable dealers. Over time, you will develop an eye for quality and be better equipped to recognize a truly exceptional piece when you see one. The legacy of the 1941 no-mint mark wheat penny is secure in the annals of American coinage. It may not be as famous as the 1909 SVDB or the 1914D, but in top condition it rivals them in value and desirability. Its combination of historical significance, widespread availability in lower grades, and extreme rarity in the finest grades makes it a unique and enduring collectible. Whether you are a seasoned numismatist or just starting out, the 1941 penny is a coin that deserves your attention. It represents a blend of artistry, history, and the thrill of the hunt that lies at the heart of coin collecting. In conclusion, the 1941 no-mint mark wheat penny is far more than a small copper disc. It is a window into a pivotal year in American history, a testament to the craftsmanship of the United States Mint, and a shining example of how condition and rarity can transform an everyday object into a valuable treasure. From the millions that once jingled in the pockets of Americans to the few pristine survivors that now reside in elite collections, this coin has traveled a long journey. And for those lucky enough to find or own a top-grade example, its story is one of beauty, rarity, and remarkable value. Welcome to this detailed deep dive into one of the most fascinating coins in American numismatic history, the 1958 no-mint mark wheat penny. This is a coin that has captured the attention of collectors across the world due to its rarity, historical context, and astonishing current market value, which stands today at an impressive $52,987. In this video, we will take you through the history of the wheat penny series, the specific background of the 1958 issue, the details that make this coin so unique, how to identify one, and why collectors are willing to pay such extraordinary amounts for it. We will also explore the grading process, preservation tips, and some auction stories that have shocked even veteran numismatists. To truly understand the significance of the 1958 no-mint mark wheat penny, we have to begin by looking at the origin of the Lincoln cent itself. The Lincoln penny was first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of President Abraham Lincoln's birth. This was the first circulating coin in United States history to feature a real person's likeness rather than an allegorical figure like Liberty. The coin was designed by Victor David Brenner, and the original reverse featured two stylized wheat stalks, which is why it became known as the wheat penny. The wheat penny design ran from 1909 to 1958, making that year its final mintage, before being replaced by the Lincoln Memorial reverse in 1959. This makes 1958 coins Historically significant as the last year of the iconic wheat reverse design, however, what sets the 1958 no mint mark variety apart is its rarity and unusual production circumstances. Most 1958 pennies were produced at the Philadelphia Mint, which traditionally did not place mint marks on its coins, and those coins are not considered rare in circulated condition. The regular 1958 Philadelphia issues had massive mintages in the hundreds of millions, but there is an ultra-rare variation known as the 1958 double die obverse, which falls under the no mint mark category and is worth a fortune. This extremely rare double die obverse variety was the result of a die error during the coin hubbing process. Essentially, the obverse die received a second impression that was misaligned with the first, causing the design elements, particularly the lettering and date, to appear doubled. The doubling on the 1958 no mint mark variety is most noticeable in the words Liberty and in God We Trust, as well as in the date 1958. It is so dramatic that even without magnification, a collector with a trained eye can spot it. The number of known examples is incredibly small, with fewer than 5 verified by major grading services. This rarity alone has propelled its value into the tens of thousands of dollars. In terms of grading, the 1958 no mint mark wheat penny double die obverse can command astonishing prices in high grades coins that have been preserved in uncirculated condition, especially those graded mint state 65 or higher by the Professional Coin Grading Service or the Numismatic Guarantee Company, can reach values approaching or exceeding $50,000. One particularly well-preserved example sold at auction for over $52,987, cementing its place among the most valuable Lincoln cents in existence. Why is it so valuable, you might ask? The answer lies in the perfect storm of rarity, demand, and historical appeal. First, the rarity is undeniable with so few examples known to exist. This coin falls into the category of once-in-a-lifetime finds. Second, the demand for Lincoln cents is massive. They are one of the most collected series in the world due to their long history, affordability for most states, and the nostalgia many collectors have from finding them in circulation when they were younger. Third, the historical appeal of owning a coin that represents the very last year of the wheat penny design, combined with a dramatic minting error, makes it an irresistible target for serious collectors. For those who think they might have a 1958 no mint mark wheat penny, it is important to know how to verify it. Authenticity is crucial because there are many counterfeits and altered coins in the market. The first step is to closely examine the coin under good lighting. If you see strong doubling on the obverse, especially in the lettering and date, then you may have something special. The second step is to weigh the coin, as genuine wheat pennies should weigh about 3.11 grams. The third and most important step is to submit the coin to a reputable grading service for authentication. Collectors who dream of finding such a coin should remember that even though the odds are extremely small, it is not impossible. Stories circulate in the numismatic community about lucky individuals who found rare doubled dies and rolls of pennies purchased from banks or inherited from family coin jars. Sometimes even experienced dealers are surprised by a coin that turns out to be far rarer than initially believed. Now let us discuss the auction history of this coin. In recent decades, only a handful of examples have appeared for public sale. Each time one has been offered, the numismatic world has taken notice. One of the most famous sales occurred when an example graded mint state 65 read by PCGS brought over $52,000 at a major auction house. This sale was widely reported in coin collecting publications and reignited interest in searching for rare wheat cents in collections and hoards. Another notable example sold for just under $50,000 several years earlier, proving that its market strength has been consistent. If you are interested in collecting coins like the 1958 no mint mark wheat penny, it is wise to invest time in studying varieties and errors. Many numismatic guides and online resources offer photographs of genuine examples alongside fakes, so that you can train your eye to spot the difference. Building relationships with reputable coin dealers and attending coin shows can also improve your chances of acquiring authentic rare coins. For preservation, it is absolutely essential to handle such a valuable coin properly. Always hold coins by the edges and avoid touching the surfaces with bare fingers, as oils from the skin can cause damage. Store valuable coins in inert holders that protect them from environmental factors such as humidity and temperature changes. Never clean a coin, as cleaning can drastically reduce its value and leave permanent damage that is easily spotted by experts. While the dream of finding a 1958 no-mint Mark wheat penny may seem far-fetched, it is stories like these that keep the hobby alive. The idea that a single cent could be worth over $52,000 inspires treasure hunters to keep searching in change jars, bank rolls, and inherited collections. This excitement is part of what makes coin collecting such a rewarding pursuit. Every coin has a story, and in the case of the 1958 no-mint Mark wheat penny, that story is one of rarity, history, and the thrill of discovery and conclusion. The 1958 no-mint Mark wheat penny, especially the doubled die obverse variety, stands as a shining example of how rarity, historical significance, and collector demand can transform an ordinary coin into an extraordinary treasure. With a current market value of $52,987 and a history tied to the end of an era in American coinage, it remains one of the most sought-after Lincoln cents ever produced. Whether you are a seasoned collector or a curious beginner, the story of this coin is a reminder that remarkable finds are still out there waiting to be discovered in the most unexpected places.